I'm Renee Marie Smith with FifTV, a trending 50 web series about 50 entrepreneurial women in America. We're in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, interviewing the accidental icon, Iris Apfel. Thank you, Iris, for being with us here today.
It's my pleasure.
You know, you have such an amazing life of being a cover girl, museum exhibit, an author, a TV host, and now even a Barbie doll. You said that you don't expect anything, but what's the next unexpected for you?
Well, my newest project is doing a jewelry line of porcelain for a company called Bernardau. I guess you know them, they're very famous. They're French, and they're sort of top drawer in the porcelain department. They do dinnerware, and they do tabletop and all that sort of thing. And they've done a few pieces of very discreet jewelry, which is hardly my bag, if you notice. So we decided to do a collection of statement pieces, and they're going to be big and bold and lots of fun. And working with them is very interesting because I've never done porcelain jewelry, and I don't think anybody much has done big pieces of porcelain jewelry. And aside from the actual designing, there are all sorts of technical and artistic problems involved, so it's been so far very, very interesting. Our first piece came out. It's hard to describe. It's a gentleman who needs a bit of clothing.
Okay.
And we named him Adam because he's our first piece.
Okay.
and the first man. Anyway, that's one of the things. I'm always doing something else, and I have a very confusing set of obligations. I work for Home Shopping, as you know, for the last 7 years. I do jewelry. I'll be going on in a couple of weeks on the 16th, I guess, of May. I do apparel for them. These pants are mine. I do jewelry, apparel, some shoes, some home decor, going back to my roots. And I have ever so many different, the Barbie doll is coming up, and we decided that we would dress the Barbie doll and make clothes for her so Mama and Grandma could wear the same outfit as Barbie.
Oh, brilliant.
So that's going to be on Home Shopping. And another fun project is that on Home Shopping, every year they partner with another important film studio. And this year the film will be Mary Poppins. They're redoing it. And they told me that they rewrote it, and they wrote in a part based on me that Meryl Streep is playing. So it should be fun.
Wonderful.
And for that I'm doing about half a dozen pieces of apparel and some jewelry. That will come out just before Christmas. So that's fun. And I do some spokeswoman work, and I do all kinds of stuff. I do a lot for charity, and of course I have my group of students from the University of Texas at Austin. 7 years ago I started this project because I felt so badly that so many kids would come up looking for jobs and just not knowing the market. And if the New York kids didn't know, the out-of-towners certainly didn't. And they all come up expecting a job as a designer or a merchandise person, and those jobs are few and far between these days. And I thought, my goodness, fashion is such a big spread. Under the umbrella, there are dozens and dozens of job possibilities that these are not taught in school, and the kids just don't know about. So we started this project, and it's just worked wonders. Every year, 15 of the best and brightest come up, and they spend a week with me. And we do 4 to 5 different visits a day, and I introduce them to museum work, trend forecasting, licensing, curatorial, so many different oddball facets. And they just love it. They learn a lot. We also do some designers, and I try to take them to different kinds of design firms and tell them that if they start at a very corporate organization and they can't stand being in a box, don't think that's fashion. There's a firm doing the same thing that's more entrepreneurial, a firm where you perhaps will wear 6 or 7 hats, and that intrigues them. And they tell me they've learned so much, and they thank me profusely, and they tell me I've changed their lives. And it's so funny, every time I call to book an appointment for the person, 9 out of 10 times who answers the phone said, "Oh my God, I wish I knew you umpteen years ago, because I went through all these things you're trying to keep the kids from, and this is such a help."
And what's interesting about this, I mean, you were an entrepreneur in the 40s, before it was fashionable for women to be an entrepreneur.
It wasn't fashionable for women to get out of the kitchen.
Yeah, well, yeah, or out of the kitchen, let alone an entrepreneur. So what advice to not only these young adults that you're working with, but also, you know, older individuals that want to become an entrepreneur?
Well, just do it. I mean, you can't just sit and talk about it. I find that's a great problem in this country. People give lip service to all of these things, and then they don't do them. I mean, all that can happen is you fail, and you won't die from it. You won't go to jail. So just get off your butt and do it. And you may not get to where you want to go, but the ride will be interesting, and it will be great fun, and you'll have an experience, and from that, something else will come. You'll be able to network and get a start. Feel your oats. Just because you're not working now doesn't mean you want to. If you don't want to, that's your business. But if you want to, get up and go. There's no reason to hold you back, absolutely.
Well, and you know, you've been so innovative. You've been sharing all these projects. How do you keep innovating in a society like today where there's such a short-term attention span?
Well, fortunately, the man upstairs has been good to me and has, you know, sent me things I never thought about, which is wonderful, and I thank him every night. And I don't know, I feel like a big sponge, and I soak up everything around me, and that gives me inspiration, it gives me ideas. And then if I'm lucky, somebody will pick up something. And if I'm not, I'll think again. If you don't risk, you can't gain.
Isn't that true? Iris, you're an accidental icon and a geriatric starlet. What is your take on fame?
Well, I think fame is the least of it. I enjoy what I do. That's much more important than having people stop me in the street. It's very flattering to have people stop you and tell you they admire you, or you've given them courage and they have a whole new life, or I've given them permission, which seems to me so silly. I don't have to give you permission to wear something cuckoo. If that's what you feel like, do it. I don't know why people are so boxed up, and they want to be so much like everybody else, and they so need peer approval. You don't need peer approval. If you do your own thing and you do it well, you'll get it. Don't start out by being a rebel and being obnoxious to everybody because you're different. Be first a part of the group, and little by little start to do your own thing. And once you're part of the group, people will love you for being part of their group and doing something different. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. You know, and one of the goals for this project with Trending 50 is helping women define success on their own terms and being individuals on their own right. Iris, how do you define your success?
Success for myself is being happy and having fun and helping other people. I get great pleasure in the fact that now my kids, that there's an organization that gives sizable scholarships to fashion students at universities. And we're only in the group maybe 3 or 4 years, and we've already twice captured the grand prize, which is $35,000. Wow. They were both girls, and it makes me feel so good to know that I've been able to do something like that, or help to do something like that, you know, to get the kids started. it's a very nice feeling to help people.
Well, Iris, thank you so much for taking time to sit and talk with us today. I know that what you've shared will inspire others, and giving back is just wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. If God is good to you, you must give back.
This is Renee Marie Smith. Thank you for watching FifTV, a Trending 50 web series. If you enjoyed the video, hit like and share.